afternoon, everyone. How is everyone? What is the latest news?
Let me just tell you how exciting my life is.
Go on, darling.
I can't tell you. You will be so jealous of how exciting my whole life is. So this morning, I get up and I look out and the canal is frozen. Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
And then I see all the ducks, and there's hundreds of them skating by, like dancing on ice. That's exciting. But then even more exciting in my life, the sun comes up and it melts the ice. And all the ducks jump off their little ice cubes into the water. Now, how wonderful is my life? It's full of variety and everything. I just want to die.
I want to tell you something better than that, Sherry.
Oh, my God.
I have a leak or something in my conservatory.
Is that a euphemism?
A leak?
Well, darling, we've just heard about Sherry's frozen canal, and now we're hearing about the leak in your conservatory.
Yes, so it's just I am so excited by it that I'm watching it go down the wall, because that is my excitement.
That's exciting.
I can barely
contain myself. More exciting than my life, because I see those ducks jumping off their ice every day.
Yeah.
So I'd quite like to look at your leak, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well, I tell you what I'll do, Sherry. I'll send you all. I'll take a film of it on my phone and I'll send it to you all, and you can just sit there and watch it for hours.
Darling, is there any way we can escape this? This is a nightmare. We have to put them on mute. I don't know what to do. Matron, please make it stop.
Please. Honestly, darling. And Debbie, I thought you couldn't cook, darling. And then you told me you've got leeks. Is that leeks with potatoes and onions?
And it's leaking out of her nether regions.
I'm going to stop this now.
Her orangery.
Girls, please. Now we're talking about our orangery. It's going too far. I have to bring in our hair consultant, our hair saint and saviour, Andrew Barton. Come in.
Hello, darling.
Save us, darling.
Hello. You're looking fabulous.
Thank you so much. I think you got the memo as well, Sherry. Have you had your heated rollers in by any chance?
Of course. You know that. Only too well.
A little bit early on the Valentine's outfit, though, but looking gorgeous.
But Andrew, I call them Carmen rollers, but they're not, are they?
Okay. You see, Carmen rollers was a story once upon a time, but things changed, birds. And today, that's what I wanted to do, was share with you just how much heated rollers have changed. They are still the #1 styling tool. This is one of the easiest styling tools for any girl to use, no matter what hair length. You pop them in on dry hair, leave them in for a couple of minutes, take them out, brush your hair through, and you're ready to go. None of that complicated brushing one hand, blow dryer in the other. So here I am at my salon in Mayfair. Not a atmosphere without clients on my team, but welcome to the salon. And I brought 2 girlfriends along to help me kind of show you just how much heated rollers have changed. And here is the reinvention of rollers. This is one of my all-time classic favourite brands, Remington, which we all know and love. It's been around for decades, great technology, great quality. And what I love about this is the lid lifts up, and then you get these fabulous little rollers inside. There's 20 in total, different sizes. And get this, girls, you'll love this, covered in velvet. So they're really, really lovely and soft on your hair. So none of those sharp kind of bristles. Very, very soft. And then it's got this grip technology with the clamp that once it goes on the roller, it doesn't move. It doesn't snag and it doesn't move at all. Because you put a heated roller in, putting the pin into the hair or trying to attach it to the hair is most difficult. So that makes it really, really easy. Great price point, $44.99 at Amazon, Argos and Boots as well. So really widely available.
Yes.
It heats up really quickly. In about a minute, it's heated and it's ready to go. and there's no switches, so you've not got to find that switch to turn the damn thing on. It's there and ready to go once you plug it in.
Lovely.
Very clever wire holder, so that when you finish with it and you put it away in the cupboard, you can wrap the wire around the bottom, and it's all finished and tidy. Also on the roller, you've got heat technology, so the heat sits at the foundation of the roller exactly where you need it. And then I just wanted to give you girls a very special top tip about using heated rollers, and it involves toilet roll.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Wrap it round. Yeah.
So, absolutely. So when you are taking your section of hair, if you just take a square of toilet tissue or a Kleenex, wrap the hair in it, the tissue will not only protect the hair from the heat, but it helps you to get those ends under as you wrap the roller. So it stops that nasty little fissure on the ends of the hair.
Wow.
That's one of my favourites at a good price point, the Remington Pro Lux. Let me introduce you now to the Rolls Royce of rollers. And here what we've got is from Cloud9.
Oh yes, I've seen
Oh
these.
yes.
I've used these before, Andrew.
Have you?
Go on, darling.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
It's called the O-Pod. It's a little bit more on the pricey side, $169. You can get it online at cloud9hair.com, and they've got an offer at the moment of $129, so good price.
Oh.
And the way it works is it comes with a set of Velcro rollers, 2 different sizes, and you, in the pod, inside there is technology, a little bit like your induction stove cooker at home. So it heats and there's no heat to the touch, but you literally pop the roller in and you leave it for 4 seconds, and after 4 seconds, it gives you a little bleep.
Oh.
That's brilliant.
The roller is now ready to go into the hair. So on Donna's hair, this is what we did earlier this morning. So the roller gets wrapped, because you've got the Velcro wrapped on it as well, it's easy to secure. And then it also comes with a little clamp that you put over the top. And although it's come off the heating mechanism, the heat retains within that roller as well. What I also love about this is it's got this fantastic precise temperature, so it's not going to get too hot. It will only heat to 130 degrees Celsius. So that's great for the more fragile hair textures and the weaker and more damaged hair. So really, really different products. But I agree, kind of, there's the new voice, the new future of heated rollers, girls.
Yeah, they're not that bulky to carry around with you, Andrew, is it? They're much easier to carry.
Around with you. What I have got is a third set of heated rollers.
Ooh.
And these come in a little vanity case.
Yeah.
The ones available at Argos and Boots and Amazon. And you get a little set roll of rollers like that.
Amazing.
And then you can pack that in your vanity bag or your suitcase when we do get to go travelling, girls.
Yay. Wow, that's good. I like that one.
Andrew, so who are the last rollers made by, the little ones?
Guess what?
Andrew Barton.
Andrew Barton.
Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be trying. I've still got some old Carmen rollers, so I'm going to go and get some Remington, I think, today. So, thank you, darling, for everything. And I'll be lovely and zhuzhy next time you see me. I'm sure we all will.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks so much, Barty.
Thank you, Barty.
Thank you, darling. You're amazing.
Bye.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
I've still got the old Carmens. Have you?
Darling, of course you have.
Yeah. Do you know what? I stopped using Carmen's because it was drying out my hair. So this is brilliant about the toilet paper as well. So it stops them breaking off.
I think that pod is the best.
Yeah,
because
amazing.
They use them in when if you go to studios and the literally is 4 seconds and it's in, And
Yeah.
but they're quite hard to carry around because that pod is very heavy.
Yes.
The last one he showed you was the best, really, and that little thing.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
You can put it in a
I
handbag.
still have my Carmen rollers. I still have them.
Darling. You could probably sell
Yes.
them for a huge amount of money on eBay, dear. You could make millions from your Carmens, dear.
But
You
they're
know-
so fiddly, aren't they, with the pins and everything else?
Yeah, and
exactly.
it breaks your hair as well. Those pins
Yeah.
break your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Now
why
listen,
technology has
girls,
moved.
enough
hello,
of this. Enough. I'm going to introduce you to one of my favourite people in the world. He's a very talented actor, talented musician, I just love him. And also we have been very close. That's all I dare say.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
good.
The wonderful, please welcome Mr. Kevin Kennedy.
Yay!
Oh,
Welcome, darling.
thank you.
Hi.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah.
I've
Lots of
seen you for a
glasses,
long
darling.
time, Kevin.
We are now.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I last saw Sherry Hewson. Well, I promised the judge I would never go near her again.
Listen, before we go on, I've got a message from Amanda Barry. She sends all her love and she wanted to say 2 words to you, Man City.
Come on.
Whoa.
She wanted you to remember Man City. Of course you remember Man City, but so she sends all her love to you.
Oh, that's very nice. Send it. all.
Yeah. So Kevin, we go back a long, long way.
Yeah.
A very long way. And we also did nearly have sex at one point, didn't we? Not in real life.
No.
I mean, Curly and Maureen did.
Yeah. Well, this is when you work with Sherry Hewson, there is a massive risk. We did have a lovely little sort of kissing scene on the sofa. Curly and they got together, and red wine was involved for some reason. When Curly gets the red wine out, it's always mean he's going to get his leg over. I don't know why. That is. And we were doing the scene, and Sherry got very excited and leapt on me during a take and kneed me in the unmentionables.
Oh.
So
I did.
we carried on the scene. Well, that was.
And I thought, what a brilliant actor, because he had tears in his eyes and he was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something now, Kev. I mean, when they talk about Coronation Street, they talk about these amazing double acts. But I came in to you, Curly and Reg.
Yeah.
And that was an incredible, I mean, the writing was brilliant anyway, but you two together were fantastic. I mean, that time was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they really sparked off that kind of double act. And because we were out in the dreaded Better Buys every Sunday, the powers that be were kind of at home, so they left us alone, which was a bit of a bad thing to do, and it got funnier and funnier and funnier.
Oh, it did.
And the writers warmed to it immediately, and it became almost like another show, which was pretty wrong really for Coronation Street, because the show is Coronation Street, and people used to love those two characters together.
Oh, they were fabulous. I mean, and they went on, and then of course Maureen arrives and puts a spoke in the wheel.
Well, that was it. I mean, what you've got these two guys who think that the Better Buys they work in is the grand central of the Better Buy empire, and they don't know actually it's the most far flung place in the Better Buy empire out in the sticks. And it's just it's all about, you know, people thinking that in that particular, people thinking that they're better than they actually are. They thought they were the cutting edge of retail, and in fact they weren't. They were just hanging on. They got into so many scrapes because they were both incompetent. And when the lovely Sherry turned up, of course, that was just another, because despite her appearance, Sherry is a very good comic actress.
I I tell you what, though, Kev, what I loved the most about the street was I loved you and Raquel. I just thought because they were so lovely and funny together. But my favourite, of course, episode was her and when you bought her the star.
Yeah, well, it was beautifully written from the word go, you know, and I was very lucky because all my storylines, they wrote really well for me. I had the high comedy of Curly and Reg, and then I had the proper love story with Curly and Raquel, and that was, it's all down to the writing. The writing was superb and still is. I feel it's changed, of course, but then, you know, change is inevitable. But yeah, that captured the nation's heart, the buying the star thing, and you know, and Sarah Lancashire, of course. I mean, she's done nothing since the street.
No, it's such a shame.
No,
I've never
such
heard
a shame.
What happened
Such
to
a
her? I
shame.
wonder.
Disappeared. Which
But the last time I saw you, actually, darling, was when We Will Rock You, when you had long hair.
Yeah, that's right. I did. My theatre was always my first love. I did a lot of theatre before I did Coronation Street, and then I got, as soon as and I've always been around music. So when I finished in Coronation Street, which was now 17 years ago.
Wow.
Going straight back into theatre, which I just adore. I mean, I absolutely adore it, and I've been very lucky. I've done a couple of West Ends, Chicago, Chitty Chitty, We Will Rock You, and I've just had a great time.
Yeah. And Kevin, you said about your music. I mean, you are also a bit of a rock god yourself, aren't you?
Well, I've always been around music, and at the age of 14, I was in a band with the Johnny Marr and Andy Rourke and Smith.
Paris Valentinos.
That's right. And so I've always been around music, and then I got Simon Cowell signed me, and then before he was God.
Yeah.
and then I ended up getting signed by Warner Brothers, and I toured America and in the Deep South.
Wow. How was that?
It was amazing. It was amazing because I've always been a country music fan. Before it was popular. And I've always loved it. So I ended up playing in Nashville. I played the Grand Ole Opry.
I didn't know this.
I played in Morgan Freeman's Blues Club down in Mississippi. This is the weird thing I was doing. I remember I was doing. I think Sherry might have been involved in this. We did an episode of Coronation Street involving Roundheads and Cavaliers. We all dressed up as Roundheads and Cavaliers. Yeah. And we filmed that in a park in Manchester on a Friday. I finished filming, I got on a plane, and I was in Memphis on Saturday, and I was playing in Morgan Freeman's Blues Club.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know it really well, Kevin.
Yeah.
Because actually I was born just outside of Memphis myself. Yeah. And I just love it. I love going to Memphis, and Beale Street is fantastic, isn't it?
I played in a place called Elvis Presley's Memphis, which is just off Beale Street.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
I just had a great time. And then I ended up playing in the Riverfest down in Arkansas with I was on with Steve Earle and Willie and all those massive stars, and this dickhead from Manchester.
Oh, exciting.
Darling, tell me, darling, I want to talk to you about, you say your first love is theatre.
Yeah.
What was your first theatre job?
My first theatre job was in a play called Ducking Out with Warren Mitchell, who played Alf Garnett.
Yeah.
And I made my debut at the Greenwich Theatre in 1980.
How amazing.
That went into the West End. So I was doing that for a while. Then I was a jobbing actor. I was off. I did Hamlet up at Sheffield Crucible, which is always still one of my favorite theatres, if not cities. And then when I came out of Coronation Street, of course, I just embraced theatre and music, and I really got back into it. I'd not really done musicals, but I just found it a real challenge because it's got its own language, it's got its own.
Absolutely. And we saw each other last year at the Hope Mill, that amazing.
And you were brilliant. You were brilliant.
I'll pay you later, thank you.
Yeah, it was Maine, wasn't it?
It was Maine, yeah. But I wanted to ask you, you're not just a theatre actor, a film actor, a musician. You're also a writer and producer. And can I talk to you about Spanish capers.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
Spanish
Tell me all about
capers.
that.
Well, I was out
Yeah.
I had a home in Spain. I was very lucky. I had a home in Spain, and I just finished Coronation Street. I'd just done Chicago, and I was out in Spain, and I got talking to these TV people, and I wanted to do a show about Spain, but not, getting drunk playing golf and coming home with a sombrero and a big donkey. Because Spain is a very, very beautiful country and very rich in its history. So what I did is stuff off the Costa. So I started to write this idea, and it was very irreverent in certain places. But we went to 2 series of doing that, and I had such a great time. And that came to an end. So it was back to my good old theatre, back to the standard theatre. Yeah. So that was.
And now what I want to do is talk about something which your charity, but I'm not going to do that without your sensational, inspirational wife, Claire. Can we fly her into the nest, please?
Yeah, she's here.
Get in, darling.
Oh,
welcome.
I have to tell you, I'm a film star now as well. I've just done my first movie.
Well, then tell us.
I did that with Billy Zane. I did a thriller we filmed it in Romania just before Christmas.
Wow.
Playing
That's
a police
so
officer. So that was cool. That's another one.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Congratulations.
But darling, come back and tell us all about that, because now I want to bring Claire in. Enough about you. Lovely though you are.
Claire.
We want to hear all about Kennedy Street, please. Claire, darling, over to you.
Oh, thank you, ladies. It's so nice to see you, and thanks for having us. Yes, so we run a tiny little charity that's got a national reach, and it's called Kennedy Street CIO, and we're basically a recovery charity. So we help anyone and everyone who is interested in recovery from addiction, and we do that via a helpline. So yeah, we invite people to, if you're struggling, don't struggle, ring up and we can offer you some support and guidance.
Can anyone call you from anywhere?
Yes, anywhere. We've got a global network of recovery connectors. I mean a global as well. We had a call yesterday from Peru. Not that I'm inviting people from all over the world to contact us, because we are a very small charity, so we're really sort of quite restricted.
How did it begin, darlings? Tell us how it began.
It began through our own personal journey. So we started our journey into recovery as a family 25 years ago.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
Claire.
I know, I don't look old enough.
You don't.
You don't.
Yeah. So, and then Kev got into recovery 22 years ago. And then I realised at the same time he went into the Priory that actually my drinking taking wasn't normal either, that it wasn't quite normal to drink at somebody who drank. So anyway, I got some help. Yeah, it all made sense at the time because I was in denial, but no, don't try that. Don't try that at home. So I got into recovery, and then we embarked on this adventure of dedicating our lives, really, because that's what you do when you're in recovery. You dedicate your life to helping others.
Yeah. And do you think it's accelerated, Claire, in lockdown?
Can't even begin to tell you. Before the pandemic, we didn't operate a helpline. We just used to run workshops in the community where we would invite people from the hard to reach community to come and get involved in our project. Then the pandemic hit, and we went from maybe 5 inquiries a week to over 100 inquiries a week.
Wow. But the thing is, I mean, how difficult is it now? Because when people are in recovery, they have to go to AA meetings, which you can't do now in person.
You can. That's really
online.
That's really why we do what we do, because of the nature of the anonymous groups, who we absolutely adore. Not many people, unless you're in recovery, know that actually AA, CA, NA, all of the A's, Al-Anon for family members, they've all gone online. So you can actually, in fact, you can have a better chance now of getting into recovery than you've ever had. Because
but Claire, I need to talk to you, because I have a friend of mine who wasn't he was in recovery. He went to a place to get better, came out in March, loved the meetings, was going all the time. The minute the meeting stopped, he will not go online. He doesn't like it, and has gone right back.
Okay, so the thing is, by all means, give him my number, and I'm happy to talk.
I will.
Please do. Honestly, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'll talk to anybody who have their hand up for recovery. So the thing is there is an element of you have to do what you don't want to do. And at the end of the day, it isn't the perfect scenario to sign up online. Zoom's not the perfect platform, but you know what? It works. And the thing is with recovery, you have to be willing to go to any lengths. And the great thing is now is because the pandemic is now starting to sort of ease away, that live face-to-face meetings are now starting to open up again. So but I'm happy.
Can I just say, Claire, though, even, you know, for people you're talking about in recovery and everything but it's a kind of slightly simpler than that, because there are people that, you know, I mean, even yourself, you get very anxious now, particularly in this second lockdown. You get scared because you're not working. You know, you don't even, I mean, particularly in our business, we don't know, you know, when work's going to come back. And people need help more than ever, not just in a big way, but in a kind of just contact with somebody. Somebody you could say, you know, particularly if you live on your own, somebody you could say, you know, today is a really bad day. I mean, that must be enormous now, mustn't it?
It is huge. I mean, we've always had a pandemic of an addiction problem. You know, we thought that the COVID was deadly. If you looked at the actual real figures around deaths from addiction, all addictions, so I'm talking about gambling addiction, it takes more lives than anybody knows about. Young people killing themselves because of gambling addiction, which has gone rampant because of this lockdown. So everybody's on the screen. So if you've got a cyber addiction or a gambling addiction, it's like your trigger is going on screen. So, you know, there's a massive...
Yes. Got you,
obviously drugs, prescribed medication. So there's a greater need than ever before. But the great thing is, Sherry, is that there's so many amazing resources out there that you don't know about. So what
people don't know. Yeah.
But
I think the thing is what's very interesting. You said something very, very interesting at the very beginning, saying people who want to be in recovery, because I kind of think that this friend of mine kind of used this as a sort of excuse not to carry on, and I, you know, because I think, you know, it's a different mindset, and I know that he himself would be a fantastic counsellor as well, but I don't think he really wants to do it. I think he's quite happy going back to his comfort zone, and I think there would be a lot of people like that.
And what you have to remember is that part of addiction, for some, not for everybody, is relapse. So it can be part of the condition. So we have to be respectful. It's like diabetes. My dad was a diabetic, and he was told time after time, if you don't stop eating sugar, you're going to lose your leg. But he would go into denial. It's exactly the same with go into denial. They think, that's not the problem. It's the pandemic that's the problem. It's Zoom that's the problem. It tells you it's a disease of denial. It tells you you've not got it.
Do you talk to the people who actually are living with alcoholics, or, you know, people, because, you know, I know there's Al-Anon, but I think it's very important, because I think, you know, because I actually lived with an alcoholic for a few years, and it really affects you, your confidence, and it, you know, it's almost like you're addicted as well, because you're trying to manage your life with this person who's completely destructive, and it's very destructive to you as well.
Absolutely, it's critical, and I don't say this lightly. We're really passionate about family recovery, and we do a lot of conversations. We have a lot of conversations with family members, because they do play a critical part in the starting process of this recovery journey. And it's as important as the alcoholic goes to AA, that the family member goes to Al-Anon, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So how can you help somebody if you don't know really what you're doing?
I think that's the amazing thing, is that you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired before you'll make the difference. And
That's a
the
very
thing that
good
trips.
expression, isn't it? Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and that's
So
the
we
thing.
need your number. If we can put your number on our
Yeah, all over.
On our website.
But
everywhere.
you're both an inspiration, and to have devoted
Yeah.
your lives to this that changes people's lives. And we're in
Mhm.
this pandemic, being there for each other is everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
to.
you.
Miss you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
That's so moving that those people have done that.
I think we should do a special on this, guys.
Also, whether you're an addict, whether you live with people or you don't, whatever you do to fill your feelings with whatever addiction it is, and it could
Yeah.
be food, it could be
Mhm.
drink, it could be
Yes,
any compulsion.
anything.
It's filling
Yeah.
it's filling your feelings so you can pad the world away, so
Yeah.
you're not present. And I think to do a special on it would be a really wonderful thing.
And also,
Debbie, thank
love
you.
to do
I
that.
loved what you just said about, but what about the other people that are trying to look after them?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about the families? I mean,
But they're
and
addicted as
Barry
well.
always
But-
tells me that she had an ex-husband and a
Yeah.
family, and she said you are so powerless.
I lived with somebody for 5 years who was an alcoholic, and I feel that I lost 5 years of my life.
Your own life, yeah.
My own life. And I feel I lost my confidence. I couldn't do anything because, it diminishes you as a person. And I think that's really important.
There's also Codependence Anonymous, which goes to Al-Anon as well. When you become codependent with caring for anyone at any point, there's Coda as well that has the same thing. And that is exactly what you're talking about. You become codependent on helping people survive.
Yeah.
And I've done that in my life, definitely. I've supported people when I need to step away. And Codependent Anonymous is equally as brilliant.
Anyway, that's a very sort of wild,
amazing
interesting
day.
Yeah,
amazing.
Very, very interesting afternoon. And now I'm going to go and have a glass of wine. Should I say that?
Kind of missing the point, darling, but we'll let that go. Anyway, Friday, please. Who's coming in?
The wonderful Jill Nolder, who is responsible for the fantastic series It's a Sin, because I think it was her idea, wasn't it? And she was also in it. So yes, she's coming to see us. She's flying into the nest on Friday, so it's going to be a really
Can't wait.
fabulous show, and we can't wait. And guys, Kevin's number is under here. If you need to talk to their helpline, they will help out. If anyone's got any problems with the family or with anything like this, with booze or gambling or any of these problems, they're there to help.
Get in touch. Get in touch.
Yeah, get in touch. You're not alone. You're not alone. There's loads of people out there, and even if it's not you, it's your family member or someone you know. It's very important. Okay. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
See you Friday.
See you soon. Bye.